And we back like we never left, man. Listen, man, everything good, bro?
Everything's good, man. Just living life, man, and making decisions, man. Like, hey, making different types of decisions in life,
Man,
man, which is
we
great.
got a lot of decisions to make. Entrepreneur. It's a I know the housing market, the housing game. You didn't step yourself into there a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Still learning. I know it's a learning process because that's the one part. When you step into something, you try to get you got your here's the housing game, here's your financial market, here's Grindhouse 707, Grindhouse podcast. We got a brand that we building, bro.
Right, right.
So I think today we're going to talk about, man. We're talking about building our brand, man.
All right, all right.
Let's see, see what it looks like. We start with the warm up rep, though, man.
Okay, let's
So,
do that.
um, obviously, what's the biggest brand that you've seen from infancy to where it is now that you've seen grow?
Grow.
Yeah, that you've seen grow.
I'm gonna say the Nike,
The Nike brand.
the Nike brand.
So we talk about the Nike brand or the Jordan brand. Two different,
I'm talking about just the Nike
just
brand.
Nike
Just
brand.
the Nike. I mean, Jordan brand. Yeah, we saw that grow too.
Yeah,
But that's a legacy. That's the goat. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? That's a different type of ball player. But we talking about just the Nike brand and how they, like the Nike, and they got the Nike, and they got the check, and just watch how they evolved over the years, man. It's like, when you're thinking about branding, when I'm thinking about Grindhouse, man, I'm thinking about how can I make my brand that efficient
yeah.
and that explosive over time. And I mean, it's a lot of people out here that's creating brands, but one of the key things about a brand is what's your value, what's your mission, what's your whole purpose behind your brand. And my brand is going to be always is about developing the youth, and that's the goal for me because I want to develop all these kids to kind of be a good mentorship for them to guide them. So the brand is community. The brand is, involvement and doing things for free and,
Yeah.
just leading and guiding. So one of the things I would say that Nike sign spoke volume to me because I mean every shoe I got in my closet basically is Nike,
Yeah.
and I know that's for a lot of people. Now, I mean everybody ain't got Jordans in there.
No.
They got other Nike, so it's all different types. So that brand is what sticks out to me.
Yeah, I would say for me, and this probably from previous employment, thing like that, was the Apple brand.
Hmm.
Obviously, seeing where it was built from, seeing the being a front runner in technology,
Hmm.
and I think a lot of the things that we do, like it was a long time that you would tell somebody, it's not, hey, hand me my phone, it was hand me my iPhone.
Hmm.
Where when something comes synonymous of what you're doing, where we calling stuff Vaseline and it's petroleum jelly,
Jelly,
or we
yeah.
calling calling stuff give me a Ziploc bag, and it's the Ziploc is the actual brand.
Right.
That's how you know you've made it.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
when
yeah.
you get to that point where you start calling things of what it is, like I know we talk about it all the time. Like I want somebody to be like, hey, I'm not going to the train, I'm going to Grindhouse.
Yeah.
Like that's that
And
that
it's
has
cool
to
that I get that though.
yeah.
I get that from my kids, and it was like, I think it was homecoming or prom. I got a picture. One of the kids sent me a picture, and it was like the Grindhouse athletes. That's amazing, man. To
Yeah.
just hear that from not just the kids but the parents. And I want to be affiliated with Grindhouse because I see nothing but positive things happening here, and that's how you branding, and it's starting to make waves in the community. But when we get outside this community, man, and start making waves, then we know, hey, we gonna move up.
Yeah.
So
And that's the thing, like, when we talk about our branding and things like that, it's like, what do you think right now, 2025, when we talk about the start of a brand, what do you think is the first thing that needs to be that a person outside of what they're doing, what we're doing right now,
mhm,
just from the outside looking in, what should be their first start? Like, hey, Terrell, I want to build my brand. Can you help me? Where do I start?
it starts with you. What type of person you are? First off, anybody can say they want a brand, want to create something,
Mhm.
but who are you? What's your character look like? What's your value? Like, what are you giving to others? I mean, because you got to give something that's going to be of value to someone. So I feel that the brand that I'm giving is value,
Mhm.
not just because it's me, but because of how I interact with my clients and my athletes and their parents and their grandparents. Because one thing I kind of tell everybody, it's family here at Grindhouse.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to be a part of it, you got options, right? But if you want to be a part of something great and something special, that's what this is about, and I include my clients as the brand because
Yeah.
they're looking to wear the brand. They're
Yeah.
looking to represent to the coaches and let everybody know in the community this is what they represent. And outside of the school, what it's like the school and Grindhouse work together at what they're trying to do. Because I tell every parent, hey, it's not about just Grindhouse. I'm a mentor first, right? So I mentorship these young athletes. And I hold them accountable. I put them in a place where they can be successful. Because if my son is successful, my athletes should be in the same boat as my son because I look at them the same way. So I just think a lot of people just trying to start a brand starts with you.
Yeah.
And if you are a honest and upfront person and you kind of let people know what you want and what your missions are, I think you'd be okay when you ready to put your brand out there. But it has to speak value. It has to be a value.
Yeah, I think that, and using this platform now is part of that as well, where you got to know the story. It have to tell, it have to tell a story. Right now, I think for where we started in the beginning to where we are now, the first podcast, the first couple podcasts, where we actually just say, hey, this is why we do it. You know
Right.
what I mean? Is part of that branding as well. Like let's tell the story of the people involved so that you understand why we do what we do.
Right.
And I think a lot of people just don't have a why.
Right.
A lot
I
of people,
agree.
just have that. I want to make money. I want to do this. But you got to have a why in order to build your brand, man.
You can't be in this game just to make money because you're gonna have your peaks and valleys in this,
Yeah.
and it's like if you don't have the love for it, you're not going to have the drive to continue to build clients because you in this business you have to work. I mean, because kids are not just falling in your lap. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you got kids graduating every year, and when you're looking at the big picture of just branding, you want the kids in the middle schools and the elementary schools wanting to come to your facility or wear your shoes or wear your hoodies or whatever it may be. You have to make it to a point where they love you.
Yeah.
And if you're the brand, then they're gonna love the brand. And once that brand spits out and keeps spitting out, then you good. Like you good from there. But you have to develop that brand and you have to develop a product that's gonna be, not matched by anybody. And I think what we're doing here at Grindhouse Sports is we're giving a brand that yeah, you can have a trainer. There's trainers everywhere. You know what I'm saying? But are you going to have the right trainer for your kid or the right trainer for your family? And I think that's where a lot of people try to find. I think a lot of people that hop around and go to different trainers,
Mhm.
they're searching for something that's not attainable. And the things that they're looking for should be looking for is the development of the kid mentally, spiritually, and physically. And I think that's where a lot of people miss.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Shane with Restore Hyper Wellness right here in Murphy, Texas. I'm proud to say we're partners with Grindhouse Sports Training just next door in Wiley. Now, Coach Washington over at Grindhouse Sports Training has done a phenomenal job at not just building out a business in the community, being a pillar in the community, but also being an inspiration to the young, talented kids that he trains each and every day. Now, last year, Coach Washington started a podcast, a Grindhouse podcast. The links are below. I encourage each and every one of you to go check this out, listen to it, like it, enjoy it. Coach Washington will walk you through his personal experiences, what motivates him, what made him what he is today, and why he's so effective at being a phenomenal leader to these young, talented individuals. Check out the podcast. We'll see you soon.
So I got those first things. Let's say I came to you. I got those first things there, but no. All right, you told me where I start. You told me to basically start from within. But how do I leverage, some of the things of today, like for free, like the social media or my vehicle or thing like how do I leverage that into the marketing aspect of my brand? Like what should I do?
All right, if you want to market that portion, if you want to get your name out there, you got to find somebody that I mean, a lot of us got people that we're cool with, that know how to do different things. Or if you don't know, I mean, like how I started, I did my own website.
Hmm.
I did my own website. I did my own postcards, and then down the road, I was able to connect with different people that had to specialize in these particular, like Elizabeth McCormick was one of my first business mentors, and she helped me develop the 2.0 Grindhouse. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's like, if you're a good person and you got a strategy or a business plan that's going to be worthy of someone seeing something special in what you do, your marketing portion is not going to be as hard. You just got to put it out there. Like, I mean, I did my own flyers. I did everything myself when I first started. So it was not like I was reaching out to people and asking people for help. I mean, if I want this to work, I'm just going to do whatever I think on my end that's going to be beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's marketing, that's wrapping my truck, that's, doing the basic stuff that I did just to draw attention, that's what I did. I mean, you just got to go out there. I mean, it's books and templates and things you can utilize. You got social media where you get people involved on social media and you start to interact. I remember, I mean, I want to say this past summer, I think I had 500 followers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost at 13 or 1400 some followers now. So it's like, I'm not doing anything no different than anybody else. I'm organically building my brand. And I think once people know who I am and they know that, oh, he ain't about the money. Oh, he ain't about, he's a loyal dude. He's a God-fearing guy. He want to grow his business. He want to do it honestly. And he want to bring his community and have his community be the forefront of his brand. I think that's an awesome idea.
Yeah. I think that, for what we're doing here, especially with building the brand, obviously leveraging the community, leveraging our resources, um, and being able to turn, and let's be honest, it's still a business.
Correct.
So, for me, after I do all those things and I leverage my resources, I leverage my community, how do I build my revenue stream though? What should I be focusing on when it comes to revenue? Because there still has to be money involved,
Correct. Yeah.
money made. So
Agree.
how do I make that, a part of my brand building?
Force revenue. One of the key factors is, like I said, putting together a plan, right? You have a plan, you have a certain price point where you want to make, and you put that price point out there. And because I see a lot of people that come out and do business, they make themselves cheap,
Yeah,
like
so
real
they
cheap.
then they try to raise their price.
But remember, we
Can't
talked
do it.
about value, right? You got to know your value. If you're producing value, and you should never have to, minimize who you are or what you do,
Mhm.
because the people that's not going to support you is not going to support you no matter what.
Right.
You want the people that's going to support you, and you got to know your value. And I'm not saying you got to make it millions of dollars to cost you to come work with them or whatever your business structure is. I say you just know your value and then come up with a plan where you get paid for your value. And I think once you understand your value, then the opportunity that you have to be able to solidify or hold down your business over time is going to be beneficial for you. And I don't think a lot of people understand that part, like being able to get a price point of their business. Okay, well, I'm gonna do business, but I don't know how much I'm gonna charge for these kids, or how much I'm gonna charge for this shirt or hoodie or whatever it is. But if you got a great value and you know that you're worthy of what you're doing, just make your price. Don't be crazy
Yeah,
about it, but just
you can always go
be
up. I
realistic.
mean, you can always go down.
You can
Going
always
back
go,
up,
yeah,
it
yeah.
just don't. It doesn't help when you start off at
Just say
$30 a
say you're
session.
a sneaker producer. And
Yeah.
you mean that's merchandise. You want to get some sneakers, and you put your shoes out there for $500-600. Like, yeah, nobody know you. Like, you don't even have a brand yet.
Yeah.
So you gotta just, okay. Let me modify. Let me start off at $49.99 and see if it's sale. And if it's sale crazy, then I'll just up my price as the supply and demand takes its course. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like being like honestly, it's like being in the gym. You think about, all right, if I'm in a gym, do I need ropes and stuff hanging from the ceilings and all these extra racks and stuff like that, or can I get away with here's one rack or two, and then then build yourself up and stuff like that. So I think a lot of people, when it comes to building their brand, they don't know one what their market is.
Correct.
They don't know what their market value is,
Yeah.
and they don't know who their consumer is.
Yeah.
I think for what we do, we already know the consumer. We know exactly who we're going for. Obviously, with these other revenue streams, stuff like that, things that we're doing, podcasts, things like that.
Mhm.
Those are different consumers,
Right.
different people,
Different people.
different people. But we want to make sure that they're listening and putting the people who, at the end of the day, will come into the gym and come in and work and things like that, and putting everything in perspective there. So
Yeah, I look, so a couple things I look at. I look at the value of the business, right, and the model, right. I have a model that nobody else have. You know, I got dietitian, I got, flexologist, I have, chiropractor, orthopedic, I have restore, I have things that's going to help develop, but also put an athlete in a great position, right? So no matter if this athlete's a pro athlete, high school athlete, or a little just middle school athlete, it doesn't really, in my mind, it doesn't really matter because all of the different values that I provide for these athletes, they're going to need every single thing to happen for them over time, right? Because sometimes your body just get tired, and mentally, you be mentally tired sometimes. So what I'm looking at sports psychology, so I can have somebody that can stimulate that brain, of that young athlete, so that young athlete can, like, hey, everything's okay. You just need to slow it down a little bit. Just kind of focus on different things. Or we got a chiropractor, I need to be adjusted, so let's reach out to Westfield Chiropractic to kind of get them in and to kind of get their body checked out. So it's like when you're looking at this bigger picture of an athlete and the type of athlete we we're looking for. We look for a hardworking, loyal athlete that's going to go out there and grind, but also go out there and have great character. That's going to represent the brand. That's going to represent his family, his last name, and so those are the things that we're doing over here. We're not trying to get everybody to train here at Grindhouse, but we want those athletes that's going to be able to go out there and hold their head up and be proud of the development of what they're getting here at Grindhouse Sports, man. So that's what that's about.
Right. I think with that we're going because I feel like this is gonna be a subject that we're gonna touch on
Multiple times.
multiple times.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna give them a little nugget on building the brand. We don't want to give them everything. Give them everything.
But somebody probably gonna sit down and be writing down all this down.
Exactly.
Their business is gonna be Grindhouse Sports
South.
But yeah, man, I love what I do, man, and you can tell from just the passion, just from training. Yeah, I'm training multiple athletes in multiple sports. I mean, I got lacrosse players, I got volleyball players, I got tennis players, and to see that smile on their face when they walk in the door and they're ready to go work, and after that workout and they sweaty and they look exhausted, and it's like, man, yeah, like, wow, like. And I asked one of my tennis players last week. I say, man, how tennis looking? He say, Coach, I'm moving. I ain't never moved like this before, and that's a problem over for me because I'm looking at this like, and I could train anybody.
Yeah.
And no matter what sport you play, I can make you a better athlete. I can make you more mobile, have better foot speed, lateral movement off the charts. And I don't need a whole bunch of stuff. I don't need bands and whistles and I got that stuff, but I've been doing this so long, man, to a point where I know I can look at a kid and say, okay, this is what we need to work on, and we can develop that. Let's go ahead and it takes me 4 sessions to get it completed. So it's just a cool thing about it is that some people, they don't like consistency. They want to see something different.
Yeah.
And today's society, it's like
they want an instant, man.
They want instant gratification, and it's like, well, it's called hard work. Grindhouse is you got to go out and grind for it. You got to work hard for it. And I don't think a lot of people understand that part. Or if I'm doing the same thing over and over again, and the kid is getting better, but they looking for bands and resistant bands and bungee cords and parachutes, and I want my son to be faster. Well, I mean, speed comes over time. Your kid's not squatting.
You don't just wake up and just
you don't just wake up and you train 4 days or a year and your kid is faster than everybody out there. That's not going to happen. So it's just about being realistic, but at the same time, I look at it as it's a slow paced situation for me because I'm looking at the overall development of the young athlete mentally, like I said, mind, body, and soul. That's what I focus on. So.
All right, y'all. Well, listen, we usually do one last rep, but with something like this, we're gonna do a part 2.
Yeah,
I think that this is something where we're gonna have a part 2 of building a brand. We're gonna talk about athletes whose brands are exceeding what they're what they look at where our LeBron James and things like that. We're gonna talk about athletes whose brands are taking a hit.
Yeah.
So I want to dive into those, but we're gonna lead us at this one for now. T, let them know where they can find us at though, bro.
Hey, like we always say, you can find us on IG and Twitter at the Grindhouse ST. You can find us on Facebook at the Grindhouse Sports Training. Like I said, it's a lot of value in what we're talking about. just come and check us out. Come to the facility and see what we got going on. You know, we sit at our business at 114 Regency Drive, Suite 130. Come check us out. I mean, I'll give you a free session if you think you can handle the grind. You know.
They ain't trying to come out here. We got old people out here working, man.
Hey, anybody can come out and check it out. I mean, I train them all, man. So hey, in the morning time, I got a whole fitness coach that come in and train my older crowd. So
well,
we can handle it.
They gonna be ready for y'all.
Grown folks can kind of get that grind too, man.
It's the house, man.
It's the grind house. It's everything. It's the grind house. Everybody want to be a part of this.
All right, y'all. Well, y'all be on the lookout for part 2 of this because, again, we're gonna dive into some more subject. Gonna get a little bit touchy. We want to make sure that we know exactly when it comes to building this brand. We want to know where our failures were. We want to know where we.
I want to talk about the end.
I want to talk
about the first logos and all of that stuff, man. Like, that'd be pretty cool.
So we're gonna do a part 2 on this episode. So y'all stay tuned for that.
All right, peace.
This is Terrell Washington. Thank you for tuning in to the Grindhouse Podcast. If you are enjoying our show, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our content on Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube, and all other podcast platforms. Remember, you must grind to shine.